Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I am going to explain about the implementation of parking lot LLD, which I have already explained in my previous video. So I strongly recommend to you guys, please go through that video first and then come back to here. So let's get started that implementation. So to save some time, I already created the structure and classes and everything, and I am going to walk through you this code, right? So the very first class which I have created in this implementation is the vehicle class. So in vehicle class, I have two things, vehicle ID and vehicle type. Vehicle type I have created the enum so that you can use two-wheeler, four-wheeler, three-wheeler in future. If you want to add some more types, you can easily add over here and it will support that type as well. Apart from that, whenever you park that vehicle, you are going to get a ticket, right? So I have created a ticket object as well. So in ticket object, I have ticket ID, entry time, at what time you entered in a parking, and vehicle object, which vehicle you are going to park, and what is the slot and what slot that your vehicle has been parked. So all these details are available in the ticket. Now, parking slot details. I have one class, parking slot details. So this parking slot details is nothing but it is going to let you know about the details of the parking slots. Means at if it is on a multi-level parking, then at what floor that particular slot is available, and in each and every floor there might be multiple rows and multiple columns. So in which rows that slot is available and which column that is slot is available, and what is the type of that slot. So this is the details, this is not the actual slot, this is the details of the slot. Okay, and actual slot, we have that object of the parking slot. This parking slot actually having parking ID, row number, column number, floor, what is the price, whether it is empty or not, which vehicle has been parked on that parking slot, and what is the parking slot type, whether means whether it is supporting to the two-wheeler parking slot or four-wheeler parking slot. For that purpose, I have created one more enough, and here I have put that this is the two-wheeler parking slot or four-wheeler parking slot. So this is the detail about the parking slot, and parking slot, this is the actual parking slot. This is the details of the parking slot. Correct. Now, here in a parking slot, if you will go through that parking slot, right, I already have this enum. Correct. So based on this enum, we are going to get that whether it is a two-wheeler parking slot or four-wheeler parking slot, we will get using that factory. So we have to pass in this factory vehicle type, and based on that vehicle type, we will get the slot, whether it is a two-wheeler vehicle slot or four-wheeler vehicle slot. Correct. So where we just given the responsibility to the corresponding vehicle type. So four-wheeler vehicle vehicle type is going to be managed by this slot, and two-wheeler by this slot. Correct. And also we have let me close all this one. We have parking slot manager. Why this parking slot manager is required? Because who is going to manage the parking slot? So this manager is knowing about how many slots are available, and how many slots are occupied, and what is how many slots are vacant. Each and every information about that whole slot is managed by this parking slot. Here again, I'm having one factory, parking slot manager factory. So based on your type. vehicle type. If it is a four-wheeler vehicle, then the four-wheeler parking manager factory, four-wheeler manager has the responsibility to park and unpark this four-wheeler vehicle, and two-wheeler parking slot manager has the responsibility to park the two-wheeler. So here again we have segregated the responsibility based on the vehicle type, and we have this factory, and this factory is going to return you that appropriate parking slot manager based on the vehicle type. Now, this is the parking slot manager, actual parking slot manager. This is I have created the abstract class. This is the list. This list is nothing but total number of parking slots available in your parking, right? And this is the method park vehicle, and this is the remove vehicle. So whenever it is going to park vehicle, we just need to provide that vehicle and it will do the things, right? And again, see, whenever any vehicle come to that parking slot manager and wanted to park, so you see here in this method, the line number, this line, right? It is going to find the parking slot, correct? Whether that parking slot is available or not. And this parking slot is going to call this abstract method. Actual implementation of this abstract method is in a corresponding class. If it is a four-wheeler parking you send, then you will get that instance of four-wheeler parking slot. And here this logic is going to return you the available parking slot. Correct? This might be you need to, if you have some other logic, you can implement. But to be honest, I used a very simple logic to get that. Only I'm just looking for whether that spot is available or not, and any vehicle is over there or not. So slot is empty, and vehicle is equal to none. So this is a very simple logic I have used here, right? And of course, which vehicle type, right? Which slot type. So it is a four-wheeler. So I'm just considering only the four-wheeler parking slot. I'm not considering other slot as well. Similarly, for the same logic, I have implemented in two-wheeler parking slot as well. Now come to here. So when you park any vehicle, so it will just find that slot, and then it will park and return that parking slot at which slot that your vehicle has been parked. If you go through that implementation, you will find one exception. I am throwing one exception here as well, right? Like four-wheeler parking slot not available. So if your slot is full, and even though if you wanted to try to park your vehicle, right, you will get that exception. So error exception handling as well, I covered. Okay. Now come to sorry, here two things. Entry gate, basically what is happening, if you will go through my previous video where I have explained about architecture and design. So park, whenever you wanted to park a vehicle, you have to come to the entry gate. So entry gate responsibility is to park the vehicle and generate the ticket. Whenever you are going to park the vehicle, right? So based on that, you need to send two things: vehicle and slots. Correct. So if it is a two-wheeler vehicle you wanted to park, then you have to send this two-wheeler slots, not the four-wheeler slots, right? And based on that vehicle type, it is going to get that corresponding parking slot manager and then park the vehicle. Okay. And to generate the ticket, it will get that slot and generate the ticket. Here in a ticket generation, I'm using this UUID, random UUID, correct? And entry time is nothing but the current time, and vehicle we are getting from the here, and parking slot we get from here, and then this it's done, right? So this is the responsibility of entry gate. Similarly, that exit gate, what is the responsibility of exit gate? Exit gate, whenever you wanted to unpark your vehicle, right? When you came to the exit, you will show your ticket, and that manager, right? For the manager, slot is important. Then based on that slot, he is going to remove that vehicle from that slot. Correct. So you get from ticket, you will get the vehicle. From ticket itself, you will get slot manager, slot as well, right? Vehicle type, slots, and this parking slot manager you will get, and then remove vehicle. That's it. You have done. And then you have to calculate the cost. Now come to that parking demo, right? So here I just created this parking slot manager factory. That is one of the important class. Let's go through this one. So based on, I already explained, based on that vehicle type, you will get the parking slot manager. Correct. So here we got the parking slot manager factory. Then we have created the entry gate object. Correct. And we have created a similarly we have created the exit gate object here in a exit gate object. We are just passing the factory over here, and corresponding we got that corresponding parking slot manager, and then internally it is going to call that remove method. I'll let you know how it is working, right? So first we have created these three things, right? Parking slot manager factory, we have created entry gate, we have created exit gate. Now I'm just considering this two-wheeler demo first, right? Let's say this is the two-wheel list of two-wheeler tickets. I'll come to here. As of now, just consider this is I have declared one variable. That's it. Now in a parking, first you have to create the slots. If there is no slot, then where you are going to park your vehicle, correct? So to create that slots, first you have to define that details of the slot, right? That's why if you remember in the beginning, I told about that parking slot details class, right? So in this parking slot details class, we are just defining the details of that particular slots, correct? So here I told, okay, this is the two-wheeler parking slot details. Here I am just declaring this two-wheeler parking slot is available on a first floor and in first row and three columns. So and this is the type two-wheeler parking slot type. So here clearly I mentioned the two-wheeler parking slots in our parking space is available on a first floor in a first row, and three columns is dedicated only for the two-wheeler parking slot. This information I have created, right? Now, based on this information, I am going to create the parking slot, right? Parking slot exactly having parking ID, row num, column num, floor, price, whether it is empty or not, which vehicle has been parked over here, and what type of parking slot is it. Okay. Now, based on these details, I'm going to create the parking space. So go to here. I'm just passing the parking details. And this logic by default, I'm considering it is a two-wheeler. Correct. And again here I am testing. Okay, with if that parking slot details, right? Parking slot details type is a four-wheeler, then vehicle type NM will be converted into four-wheeler. Correct. Now here I just created a parking slot factory. Right. This parking slot factory, it is going to give the details, return the object of corresponding factory, whether it is a two-wheeler parking slot factory or a four-wheeler parking slot factory. And going forward, if you wanted to add any more, you can add easily. Correct. So based on this vehicle type, right? Based on vehicle type, we will get that slot, correct? And if you will see that four-wheeler parking slot is going to extend that parking slot, and here I'm just returning the price. So why we are doing this one? Because if you go to here, this price. So this price I will consider it as a default implementation, right? So what is the mean of default? What I mean to default implementation? Because some parking spaces uh, might be 10 rupees or 5 rupees. Anything will be the minimum charges. That will be the by default you have to pay that much of amount, right? And if you wanted that specific parking slot, so might be for four-wheeler parking slot, price might be something else, and for two-wheeler parking slot, price might be something else. So that is why in a four-wheeler we are just returning 40, and two-wheeler I am returning 20. So we got that parking slot factory here in a parking space. We got the factory parking slot factory, and here I'm initializing that list, correct? Now I'm just preparing the parking slot and adding that parking slot into this list. So I'm first iterating the floor, then row, and then column. And here I put one logic to create a parking ID, floor number plus row number plus column. And this is the very kind of very simple logic. I'm just putting values, right? Parking ID empty by default. Whenever I'm going to create any new parking slots, so empty will be the true, right? And vehicle, obviously, if it is a new one, then vehicle should be the null. So if I'm not providing anything, so it is the null. And type, which type of, so all the details we have to be completing. I'm just providing over here, nothing else. Okay, so once we have created that two-wheeler parking slot space here. Now, now you have two things, many things, not two things. Entry gate, exit gates, two-wheeler parking slots. Now you want to park the vehicle. So just for the demo purpose, I have created this inside a loop so that one goal I'm going to park three vehicles, right? So first vehicle I have created, and then I'm going to park this, generating the ticket, then adding these tickets, right? Uh, Here I have created the list. So adding this ticket into this list, right? After that, I'm just printing the ticket details. So if you will go over here, so all the details I'm going to print, right? And after that, from this tickets, I'm going to remove this one, right? So just to demo purpose, I use this one, but however, it is not required in a real implementation. Okay, so let's get started. The demo, I'm going to run it in a debugger so that you will. Okay, so here everything is done. Exit object, entry object, this slot details. If you will see the slot details, right? The slot details we have provided. And based on that slot details, we got the space. So our parking slot space is available over here. Correct. So now see that for two-wheeler price came 20. And if you will see here that empty type is true for all three. Okay, empty type is true and vehicle null. Empty type true, empty true, vehicle null. It means these slots are available. Now I'm going to create a first object. Here, if I'm just testing one more thing. If someone wanted to park in this slot apart from two-wheeler, then he will get that message. This slot is only supported for two-wheelers. Okay. Then we got that vehicle, we got the slot. Now we have to park the vehicle. Correct? So entry gate responsibility is park the vehicle. Now if you will go to this method, see. So it will come to here. This is slots, and based on that vehicle type, right, we will get that slot manager, right, and slot manager is going to park the vehicle. So if you will go through this one here, let me come to it. Okay, yeah, we got here the two-wheeler slots, and it came here again. It will go to park vehicle. Correct. See, now here in park vehicle, the important thing is that how this list is going to be populated. So this list is going to be populated from here. Uh, see, we are passing this this slots, and from here itself we are passing this one. Correct. And one more thing. Okay. So we are sending this information, right, from first from here itself we are just sending it. Correct. If you will go, so this is our parking slot factory, right? So we are sending these slots as well, and it is going to populate that slots. Correct. That is why we are sending that slots as well. Okay. And now go to uh, here. So it is going now. It is going to find the parking slots, right? So based on that availability, it got, right. If you will see, it got one slot. First slot is it got. Now it is going to park the vehicle. Now vehicle is parked. If you will see the slots object, now see, this is false and vehicle is placed. Okay. Now it came here returning this one, this slots, and based on this slots, we are just generating the ticket. So this is the ticket details. Okay. So ticket ID this, ticket number is the entry time this is the vehicle, and this is the parking slot. So if we'll go through the vehicle, this vehicle is going to be parked, and on which slot? So this is the slot, right? If you will see the object 1056 and this vehicle 1056. So clearly we can say that 1056 is parked over here, correct? Now I add this one, and before going to this let me clear the console. So print log, correct. Once you print, see what all the details on a ticket ID, parking ID, slot type, vehicle number, vehicle type, rate per minute, parking floor, row, column, and also it is telling now two slots are available. Earlier it was three, but now two slots are available. Okay, so I'm just quickly going to remove others. So see now one slots is available. Okay, now all three whenever we came from this loop, it means all three objects has been all three vehicles has been parked. Correct. Now see the available slot is zero. Okay. I'm just going to. Now I'm going to exit it. Okay. See, when I ran this piece of code, what happened? See, this is the first parking ID where our car was vehicle was parked. Rate is this. This is the details, and it got released unparked, right? So our label slot is one, correct? And somewhere else I'm calculating the cost as well. Might be this one. Okay, yeah. Similarly, when this the second vehicle got released, so our label slot is two. Third vehicle got released, no, our label slot is three. Correct. So all three vehicles first I parked and then I removed to them. Correct. Similarly, this is nothing but about the four-wheeler. So let me clear it and run it. See, this is the first vehicle I parked. Total slots available 2. Now total slots available 1. Total slots available 0. It means all three vehicles has been parked. And now I'm going to just one by one if I'll go. It calculated the cost after exiting and printing the details. Once printing, available slot is this one. Correct. Okay. Let's go. This is the second one. Available slot is 2. Remove the last one. Total cost is this one. Available slot is 3. Now 3 slots are available. Okay. Now let me run it uh, one more times by doing something else. Let's say instead of 3, I'm going to park the 4 vehicles. What will happen? Simply run it. Okay. Get the console. Run it. First done. Second done. Now see, there is no slots. Okay. But even though I wanted to park the vehicle ID 4, I wanted to park. But we clearly saw that there is no slot. What will happen? See, you will get the exception, two-wheeler parking slot not available. Correct. So this exception as well I handled. So I think I covered everything, and I will share my GitHub link for this code, from where you can, if you wanted, you can take a look on this code and implement yourself. Okay. Uh, Guys, if you have any suggestion, any feedback, just let me know. And if you have any questions, please let me know. I will try to answer your all questions. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.